Hi, welcome. In this video, I just want to put some additional information on the videos I've been doing with Conrad, and specifically in terms of socialization. If you watch the socialization with Polly videos, I've done a pre-video where I have Conrad in the crate, and I'm using the remote collar in a very specific way to get Conrad to calm down. Okay, knowing that Polly was in the area. Now, here's the thing I'd encourage people to think about in this, in terms of just moving beyond appearances or putting appearances into proper context. Okay, and this gets into some of these methodologies, that involve getting a dog to wait, okay, or to respond a certain way and go into a sit position before you let the dog do whatever, is really looking at the dog's how the dog appears, okay, in terms of the dog's mind is just jumping. Okay, you can see the dog is really, it's like a sprinter, a runner about to launch out of the starting gate. Okay, so you might have a certain position even, but you can tell by looking at the dog is like you're faded out. It's like the dog's mind is moving straight through you, jumping right over you. Then having a sense of that, saying this, okay, I sense, okay, I might have a response, but I sense that this ain't good. I could be pulled down off your feet, okay, in a moment's notice, based on how the dog appears. And that's the truth of it. It's about control. The dog you're fading out. I talk about this issue of how to fade in, okay, in terms of this type of hard stop process. And you'll see it on that video where I'm taking my time and where I'm assessing, and already kind of going back to when Conrad first arrived, where I had to kind of start off at an even more basic level of just moving out with the basic method just from the crate itself, taking a few steps and right back in, rather than try to get out in an open area and then entering into high conflict, which you saw in the first video. So there's always some variance in terms of making certain adjustments. But here's the thing: is I'd encourage people to really consider why it is that you need to get hold of your dog the way I show with the push-pull method. Okay, bring the dog under influence in a very specific way, interacting that way, hands-on, and you'll see it. Here's the thing, and I would encourage people to put this to the test. You'll see a dog, say sitting, wanting something beyond you. It could be their food. And then, you're standing there and there could be a couple feet and you're thinking, right? Okay, this looks great, but just pay attention to the dog's physical appearance. It's like the eyes, the pupils are like, it's like you're gone, right? And they're shaking and they're all stirred up and wanting to go. But then take it a step further, because this is what you need to do. Take a hold of your dog, and I say it in a reasonable way, and I talk about the reasonableness of the methodology, but the dog needs to have a collar on. But take a hold of the dog and start to bring the dog under some influence, okay? And even do a down, like pushing on the dog's, shoulder blades. Don't have to push hard, just be focused. And pay attention to the reaction. Okay, if you're faded in properly, that dog will be very agreeable to the down position. Okay, and still a distance away from the food. Okay, and that's the proper way to do it, because what you're communicating is saying, hey, you know what? You need to be patient. I'm in control. Yes, you'll eat, but through you. Like, that's the proper. This is how you want to defeat or want to, counter even food possession issues. That's how you need to do it. But the truth will be revealed, okay? And you have to reconcile this. But pay attention to the reaction of your dog and line this stuff up. You'd have the dog like really, wanting to sprint, like you're not even in the picture. It seems. Just pay attention. Then when you take a hold of your dog, line up that reaction. Your dog is getting all squirrely and really you're in conflict and not agreeable. Well, that's why. Line that stuff up, okay? That's what's going on. This is why you need to get a hold of your dog. You need the dog to be agreeable. You need to create what I call a hard stop, where you're fading in. The dog is like focusing in on you, saying, hey, everything comes through you. Okay, so again, I encourage you to really think about that, because if you get what I'm saying, you'll make incredible change with your dog. You're not going to be set up to be deceived and saying, you know what, I make my dog wait, and but I still, I have all these issues going on. My dog is still ramped up, and I can't seem to get control. Well, because it has to be direct and meaningful, okay? I talk about the integrity of the method. It's got to be interaction based, okay? You have to get a hold of your dog. When I say get a hold of, right? Don't take that the wrong way. It means you have to bring your dog under a level of influence that's going to align properly. It's going to fade you in, right? So even how I did the exercise with Conrad, it created the circumstance that I was a lot more successful. He was a lot more agreeable because I added that extra step in, okay, with the crate first, getting him just to truly start to relax and calm down. Then I brought him out into the open area with Polly, and I had a lot less issues. But if I had just taken him right out there, without doing that, you know what? I'd be in a lot more conflict. I may have still accomplished what I wanted to do, but I avoided high conflict because I took the extra step. And that's the point. You want to avoid as much conflict as possible. Influence is still part of the process, and that's the thing to understand, is that, but it's reconciled, it intersects these interactions. The dog is motivated to come into agreement with these interactions. So again, I encourage people, really think about what I'm saying, make that connection, but pay attention. Look at your dog. When your dog is looking a certain way, oh yeah, it's likely you're faded out. Okay, you're not even in the picture. You think you are because you've got a certain response, but it goes beyond that. Okay, just like a selfish child, I mean, they can respond certain ways, but it doesn't mean that their motives are good, right? There's like, you have to create that type of a fading in effect, and it happens through the method itself. Thanks for watching.